German Check. Yes, the channel that helps you out a lot and a lot of different other guys out there who want to learn the German language. This video will close for you some gaps you still might have from watching the last video, so I will complete the last lesson with explaining a bit more about the plurals and, well, a little bit more about the definite and indefinite article as well. Well, this one will obviously cover some details I didn't have time to tell you about on my last lesson. So stay tuned if you're up for becoming a proficient German speaker yourself. If you remember correctly, we had here the definite articles last time, which were der, die, das, and for the plural form, just die. And the definite article, the plural form, well, doesn't really care about gender, but it cares about the cases. So the article you need there that you start with in the nominative case here, which is always die, will have to change due to the cases it is put in. Just for brushing up the memory here, we have here the examples from our last time, and if we go for the definite article, we have die Bäume, die Lampen, die Bücher. So here if we use die, we obviously mean some specific objects. Yeah, we mean some specific items, maybe like the books. So we obviously had a talk earlier about those things. This is why we now might use this definite article die here in nominative case in plural form. So again, die Bäume, die Lampen, die Bücher. But now we also would like to say these, to mention these kind of things in a way where we don't know which exactly, or if we don't care about which ones we're talking about right now. So we obviously, if we would have a single form here like der Baum, I would say ein Baum. But as I told you in my last lesson, ein doesn't work for the plural forms. There is no article, and so it is. There is no article that is called the zero article, and the zero article simply is a missing article. And all you have left here, at least for the nominative case, you have here simply Bäume, Lampen, Bücher. How you use them we will cover on our next video, and for all the other possibilities that we went through last time, we will have an example as well, so you will have a better imagination of how those articles work. But all that will be in our next lesson. Today I simply want you to understand that here eine again is not existing, but we have simply nothing here instead of eine, and the other possibility that we might have could be some alternative articles, like the one I introduced you last time to was keine, and keine was the opposite of something, of eine, with a K more in the beginning, and here it is also an alternative for saying none of those things. But this is something I already explained on my last video. You can watch here by clicking on the info button. So we have here this keine, but this is a negative one. So which ones would be in a positive way? Well, the most obvious and easy one that you already might have heard is simply viele. Well, many, yeah, just what the plural form is all about many things. So you would say like many trees, viele Bäume. We have this E in the end here, just like with keine, the E in the end. So you have here viele Bäume, viele Lampen, and viele Bücher. If we proceed to the next case, the genitive case, well, this one is a kind of hard one. Generally, it is used to describe the relation between a little part in relation to a bigger part it belongs to. And you always address the bigger part in genitive. So here to form a zero article form with some, well, still existing logic is simply not possible. You can try it, but all you end up, finally in German, you will simply have to put words together to a new word. Because without an article, the genitive case here is disturbing to form. Well, there is almost no situation where you could apply this kind of zero article in genitive here for the plural form. You will have to use some alternative. Something like keiner, vieler, einiger. And this one you put then in this genitive. This is possible then. So for the genitive case in plural, the only thing we can actually do, which will still have logic in a sentence, is to work either with the definite article der or with an alternative of an indefinite article here, like keiner, vieler, weniger, because only then you will construct a German sentence that actually will be understood. Other than that, it's just nonsense. If we proceed to our next case here, the third case, the dative case, we will have to address some goal we are putting our action forward to. So what we will have here, either the ones we just went through last time, the definite article den, so we will have den Bäumen, den Lampen und den Büchern. But if we go for the indefinite article, here now it is very much possible to leave the article completely away. So you would have here simply Bäumen, Lampen, Büchern. And which sorts of sentences here might be possible? Well, this will be more covered and explained in a much greater detail on some examples here on our next lesson. But in general, you can tell the definite articles in plural, well, they simply specify the things you're talking about, obviously. The indefinite articles normally want to address the thing in a larger context. So in order to address the things you're talking about in general, you would rather use the indefinite article, an alternative, which is here something like viele or keine or einige, so many, none of those, or some. Those might be the alternatives you could use here, or simply nothing. Just leave the article away and you will have simply Bäumen, Lampen, Büchern. Don't forget the N in the end, because this is the way how you recognize a plural dative case here, if the noun has an N in the end extra. Well, except if it was already there, like Lampen, you won't have to add anything because Lampen already has an N. This is how it is here in German. And for the last case that we have here is the accusative case. So this accusative case will be about using the stuff that we are talking about. We actually just copy the nominative case here for the accusative in plural. But this one you remember from our last lesson, as I suspect here. The accusative case is simply not doing the stuff in a sentence, it is being done with. Again, for the definite article, die, like die Bäume, die Lampen, and die Bücher, say without the article, with the zero article here, simply Bäume, Lampen, Bücher, without that article. But how you have to understand that inside a sentence, this is a thing, as I told you, we will have on our next lesson to come. So this is it, guys. This is enough for today. So I hope you learned something new and useful for your German skills to develop. So if you liked it here, guys, I recommend you to subscribe to my channel and of course to leave a like to push my algorithm here on YouTube. So stay tuned. Ich sage Tschüss und bis bald.